Hey, good morning, guys. This is Eddie coming back at you. Today is July the 23rd. So I wanted to come before you this week um, to give you some words of encouragement, especially for buyers. I mean, we know that it's a challenging market for buyers right now. There's intense competition, but I mean, rest assured that you can get your home in this market. If you feel that this is the market and this is the time, this is the season for you to purchase a home, you can get it in this market. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to be mindful of. Number one is persistence. You have to be persistent in this market. You may not get your first offer accepted. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. You just have to be persistent. We know that all things work together for our good. So if the answer is no for the first one, that just means that God has something better behind the next door. All right. So you have to be persistent. You have to be flexible. It is a seller's market, so the sellers are running the show. You have to accept that, and you have to be flexible. So, I want to talk about a few things that you need to be aware of. You've probably heard them before, but faith comes by hearing. So, I'm going to give it to you one more time. All right. So, the first one is you have to be flexible with the terms of the contract. Offering price. Your offering price is going to have to be strong. I mean, the latest statistic, I think I mentioned to you guys the last time, is that more than 80% of homes nowadays have multiple offers. So there's intense competition. So you have to come with your best offer from the get-go. Um, you have to look at that listing price as just a suggestion. That's how you have to look at it, is a suggested price. And most people are going over that price. So you just need to be aware of that. Closing cost assistance. The seller's not going to pay your closing costs. Now, if the home has been on the market for, more than 30 days, which is extremely rare, but if it's been on the market a few times, hasn't closed over 30 days, you may be able to ask for closing costs, but as a rule of thumb, in this market, you're not going to get closing costs assistance, so you need to be prepared. While you're waiting, you should be saving money. You should be working on your credit score. So just expect to pay all of your closing costs. Now, we're actually even having some buyers that are paying a portion of the seller's closing costs as a way to look more attractive, or for their offers to be more attractive. They are actually paying the deed stamps for the seller. So that's something that some buyers are doing right now to get a leg up. So your closing costs won't be paid by the seller, and you may want to consider, if you're in position to do so, to contribute to the seller's closing costs. All right, financing. Financing is very important. We know that cash is king. So typically, if you get a very strong cash offer, anyone that's going to be financed is not really going to be able to compete with that. There are less risk with cash. If the person has cash, there's no appraisal contingency. There's no financing contingency. So sellers really, gravitate towards cash deals. If you need to be financed, there's nothing you can do about that. But second, the conventional loan is more preferred than the FHA and the VA loan. So if you can qualify for a conventional loan, sellers like to see that more so than the other types of loans. So just be aware of that. All right, financing institution like the bank or the mortgage company that you're going to be using is very important. So the seller's agents are looking at who this pre-approval is coming from. If it's somebody that they know, somebody that they have a good reputation, if it's somebody that will communicate, is very responsive, then that gives you a leg up on the competition. If it's a small lender that most people have never heard, if it's somebody online, those aren't as great these days. That's just how it is. So you want to make sure that you do a good job of selecting your lender and lending institution. Um, Closing date. You're going to need to be flexible with the closing date. Now, one of the things that I see some buyers doing, are they're going ahead and getting pre-underwritten. So what that means is they're going ahead and submitting all of their documents, asking the lender to go ahead and start the process without the home. So they can get a pre-underwritten approval, which could minimize the closing period. So typically we look at 30 to 45 days, but if you go through this pre-underwritten process, you could close within 15 days. Once you get the home, then they start to work on the home title search and everything like that. So that's something you may want to consider. Sellers look kindly on that because it lessens their risk. Um, uh, as far as the closing date, it's good to be able to be flexible, as I was stating. 15 days. Some sellers want to close very early. Some sellers, they're having a home built and they need a 60-day close time. So as a buyer, you want to be flexible because at the end of the day, your goal is to get home. All right. So the more flexible you can be, the better off you're going to be. Inspections and repairs. So right now, most contracts that are being accepted are as-is contracts with due diligence period. So that just means that you're going to have your due diligence period. You have 10 business days to do any inspection that you want, but you're not going to ask the seller to make repairs. So that's what they're looking at. Now, if you ask the seller to make repairs, then, they're not going to look too kindly on that, and your offer stands a good chance of not being accepted. Now, there also is another option, as is with no due diligence period. That's just saying that, listen, I'm not going to even have inspections. I just want to buy the home. Now, I personally wouldn't recommend that, but some buyers are doing that in this market. So you just need to be aware of it. All right. Contingencies. So I did a video a little while ago about the different contingencies in the contract. So you have your earnest money contingency. We're seeing some buyers that waive that contingency. They're saying, listen, this is non-refundable. I'm going to put down $1,000. It's non-refundable. If I don't close, then you get to keep that money regardless of the reason. So that's something new that buyers are doing. We talked about financing contingency. If you have cash, then obviously that's going to give you a leg up on the competition. But then conventional would be the next best. All right. The appraisal contingency, buyers are waiving that. Now you got to have some money to waive that appraisal contingency. Once again, I personally don't recommend it, but some buyers want the home bad enough and they have cash to where they're saying, listen, even if the home don't appraise, I'm still going to pay for it. All right. And then obviously if you have to sell a home, before you purchase this home, those offers are going at the bottom of the pile. So you need to be able to purchase the home without having to sell a home. So just want to give you that information. Stay encouraged. You can still get the home that you want. We just have to be very strategic on how we submit these offers. So you have to be persistent. You have to be flexible, but always remember that all things gonna work together for your good. So if you don't get this first home, hey, thank God that he didn't allow you to make this mistake. The next one is going to be even better. If you have any questions, any comments, please give me a call. As always, you guys know this is what I do all day, every day. If you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell a home, please consider referring them to me. It will be a blessing, an honor to serve them. As always, hope you guys have a great day. May God bless you. Heaven continually smile upon you. Talk to you guys soon.